What's up, YouTube? This is Ultimate Shield 340 back at it again with another Division 2 video. This video is going to showcase one of my favorite gear sets in the entire game. This is the On-going Directive. I wanted to also sort of explain the status effect of Bleed and sort of what I think are its use cases. So, without further ado, here's the build. Before I start, I want to go ahead and say that I did actually look at this build from a different YouTube creator. The link will be in the description. They had a really great idea, and I decided I wanted to kind of run with it and see, what I can do. I want to go ahead and say that you can use this in Legendary. However, I would not recommend using this build unless you are highly skilled and you sort of know, you know what what to do and how to survive. And this is not me trying to, put anybody down or anything like that. It's This build is difficult to use in Legendary because, as you all know, you take a lot of damage, from all different sources. Either, it won't matter who hits you in this build, you're going to take a lot of damage very quickly. So, um, even whenever I use this build, I actually get downed a lot depending on what's going on. One thing that I get hit with a lot are those grenadiers or those, I think they're called controllers, where they will send out, I guess, their own fireflies that'll go over and explode on top of you. So that is kind of a disadvantage. So, just wanted to go ahead and put that out there. So if you decide that you want to use this build, go for it. Just know that because of the talents that I'm using, you are going to be very squishy. So, keep that in mind. And the build description is in the description who I got this build from originally. So here we go. Survivalist specialization for the status effects. And then you also get the burn grenade. I have blue screen as the primary weapon, which, I'll show you here. This is actually very important for the entire build, and you'll see why I especially chose the blue screen as opposed to something like Carnage. I also have the Vector as the sidearm with Status. Get those bleeds going in case anybody gets real up close and personal. I can go ahead and switch this weapon and sort of burn them down ASAP. I just have this as the TDI card sidearm reformation talent, just in case, for whatever reason I want to go ahead and use this. I don't usually use that sidearm in this build, and I'll explain to you why if you can't already see the talent that I'm using and the reason why it's not as useful in this build, but I'll explain it to you whenever we get to it. Vile Mask, you'll also notice that I chose a repair skill mod in here. Then we have the backpack. The backpack is the other important part of the gear set, as well as the build itself. I'll let you read the four-piece in and of itself. Many of you already know what it does, but the special reason why I chose this backpack in this is that you get Trauma Specialist, which will increase the duration of your bleed status effects by 50% and all bleed damage done by 100%. And this build is going to actually do quite a lot. You'll also see that I did the repair skills as well, and everything is rolled to status effects. Now, this is my personal opinion about On-going Directive. You can run this you can run the gear set itself in multiple ways, but if you're going to keep the stats, it's red cores across the board, and it's supposed to be a weapon damage and status effect. So you can either go the status effect route, which is what the backpack is for, or you can go the weapon damage talent, which is what the chest talent is for. And do I even have the chest talent here? Yes. The chest talent is for the weapon damage, which, of course, I'll go ahead and let you read that. But essentially, if you create a bleed on the target, you have a weapon, an amplified damage by 35% to bleeding targets using the chest piece. So in this build, I am choosing the status effect route. And so, that's, you'll see why. So hands, weapon damage status effects. Chest piece is the other part that is important to this build. As you'll see, I have perfect glass cannon, status effects rolled Little weapon handling. If I had my option, I would have probably chose maybe something else. But weapon handling actually is really good, considering I have the submachine gun, so it's not all bad. In this build, you have perfect glass cannon. All damage you deal is amplified by 30%, and all damage you take is amplified by 60%. And of course, you see the repair skill mod in there as well. We have the holster, weapon damage skill, status effects, and the knee pads. I rolled the skill tier, and I have the status effects rolled on it all together. So in this build, as you can tell, I have 4 weapon cores and 2 yellow cores. Now, you may be asking yourself, now why make the build in this way? In the build description, it will sort of explain to you why they chose this, and I agree with that. I have repair skills as the mod enrolled in every slot that I can. The idea is that when I am out there fighting, I'm obviously going to get hit at some point, and I want to recover as much as possible. And so with the 2 yellow cores, it gives me a tier 2 skill tier, and it also brings up my reinforcer chem launcher to 20% radius and 40% heal. I know it says 3 right there, but that's because of my TDI card, and I don't know why it doesn't show it the way it does, but you know, it is what it is. So I chose the chem reinforcer, ammo, and the heal, and then I have the jammer pulse with the radius and effect duration to go ahead and address the issues with the dogs and any electronics that may come my way in legendary difficulty. So the combination of all these things will allow you to proc the blue screens effect on demand whenever you can using the chem launcher, but then also you will, you know, increase the damage that you do to enemies based upon your bleed, and you'll also be able to kill the status affected enemies after you trigger the blue screens effect, and you will get your hollow point round. So sort of to showcase what this is kind of in practice here, you know, you'll of course want to mark the targets using your blue screens effect, and as you see there's a red right here that's going to be close to dying, so you can do it of one of either 2 ways. Either you can trigger your reinforcing chem launcher and create the status effect, or you can use your jammer pulse. Once they're jammed, you'll just shoot somebody, kill them, and then you will go ahead and get the hollow point rounds. As you can see, I'm going to actually change this difficulty to the hardest setting so you can actually see the damage. But because of glass cannon and how, you know, it works, 1 hit on the elites actually does quite a bit of damage. The backpack talent is kicking in as well with the toxic delivery of the biomass to do a lot of damage. So that's 1 shot. That's 2 shots right there, and it will continue to tick down, as you'll see. And so in about 3 shots, you will be able to, you know, go ahead and kill any elite that you have out there. So ideally, if you have a whole bunch of targets marked like you do now, you're actually going to be doing a lot of damage. Anytime you get hit, as you'll see, using the perfect glass cannon, you're actually going to get down quite a lot, but because you have so much repair skills, you'll hit 1 charge and you will actually charge yourself up back to almost full using this 1 charge. So, you know, it's very doable. As you can see, all those targets are out there, you know, kind of ticking down. It's very doable in legendary, but, you know, again, I would just only caution you to just be very careful if you are going to take this build into legendary. And you know, again, of course, protect yourself at all times. And I think that's about it that I want to. The reason why I chose blue screen is that you are going to be able to trigger the effect after you kill an enemy. So as you see here, I'm gonna sort of stack up the whole thing using blue screen, and then I'm gonna sort of reset this all, right? So blue screen's effect is active. I'm going to shoot everybody, and the moment you, like, all these targets are marked, as you can see. I'm going to wait until the it wears off so you can kind of get the idea behind it. So everything is going crazy. you know, enemies are rushing you, people are doing things, your teammates moving, you're moving, and you happen to get a shot off on a target like that, but you've marked essentially everybody on there. Once you've done that, everybody then will continue to take a lot of damage from the blue screen's effect, which is why I decided that, you know, it was a very good idea in the build description to go ahead and use the blue screen to not only do the effects on demand whenever I needed to, but also to, you know, hit those targets and mark them, and it really lends itself well to a spray and play uh, you know, play style that you can see here. So without further ado, I'm actually going to go ahead and take this build into a mission so you can sort of see it for yourself and, you know, make a decision on your own if that's what you want to do with this build or not. And yeah, I'll just see you in the mission. All right, we are here in the Summit Legendary, as you can see, top of the screen. I'm going to go ahead and showcase this build for you. Just gonna go ahead and wait on, I guess, the next person, and we're gonna go ahead and we'll rock and roll. All right, let's make it happen. So the first thing that you want to do whenever you make this build, or if you're going to use this build, is you want to kind of stay a bit far back. The reason being is because, you know, you're going to get smoked and you don't want to get yourself exposed. The idea is that you're going to use the lead to sort of do the work for you. See, I'm already getting smoked. That's okay though. Whew. I haven't gotten my hollow points yet. That's okay. Should be getting it here in just a moment. Yikes. There we go. Hollow points acquired. So now that I've gotten that, you can kind of mark enemies, as you can see here. Use your cover to cover. Protect yourself at all times. And make sure to, again, always prioritize the correct targets. And help support your teammates. Alright. A little bit of a rough start, but all good. It is what it is. You know, like I said before, you know, even whenever I use this build, as you can tell, I'm not the best with it. But, you know, you can make it work if you are willing to play a little bit dangerously. Using the glass cannon, it wasn't the talent itself, it wasn't my favorite, and it still isn't my favorite right now even. I say all that and then you're questioning, you know, like, so then why would you use this on the build? The whole reason why is because I wanted to go ahead and make the build as strong as possible, and it was something I was willing to, you know, sort of challenge myself as a player to, am I able to sort of overcome the inherent weaknesses and thing of my own personal gameplay to, you know, get the kind of results that I want. So that's sort of the idea behind it. So now we're getting kind of smoked by these controllers, so I'm going to go ahead and pop my blue screen, start marking targets, and get it on going. Anyway, pun aside, keep marking targets, see if there's anybody else I can mark. Trigger blue screen, heal myself up in the process. It's a little hard to see, so I'm gonna go ahead and try and move up a little bit, shoot down these flyers, pulse these, and then continue to mark targets. I am out of hollow point bullets, no big deal. So I'm gonna mark a target. There we go. He's going to go down. And now we're back to hollow points. So again, as you can see, I'm just sort of trying to just tag targets. The bleed itself does so much damage that, you know, obviously if you can shoot down targets, shoot them down whenever you can. But if not, you know, of course, you know, trust in your bleeds. And this is to supplement, you know, everything else that you are, you know, doing for your team. Just throw out another heal. Build those stacks. And oh, that is again an unfortunate downside to this build. If I was a better player, I would be able to sort of sustain this a little bit better, but I'm not. But it's, again, it's okay. You know, you have to sort of continue to try and do your best. Continue to heal as necessary. Don't shoot your teammates in the back. Use the cover to cover to get to a better spot. And cover to cover. Dodge roll out of the way. Continue to mark targets. Trigger blue screen's effect. And then let your bleeds and everything do the work. I'm gonna go ahead and pulse. Get these guys out the way. Build stacks on blue screen. And continuing to support my team. So we were able to get past that part. And we're just gonna keep on moving. So, as I'm playing this build, and you are able to sort of watch this, you can sort of make a decision on, you know, if this is the route you want to take. There is a build that I have of On-going Directive that does not involve glass cannon. I would recommend that build for heroics, which is to take off glass cannon, put on the chest piece, and switch it out for carnage as an option, and then change the gloves from the On-going Directive to contractor's gloves. I think is a great compromise here. And also, one other thing that you can do with this build is that once you, if you know how to sort of use On-going Directive in a way where you can actually proc it using like the deployable skills. And what I mean by that is that you can actually change this build where you're using instead of the chem launcher and the jammer pulse, you can actually use the, what is it, the Mender Seeker Mine, and then the healing drone to give yourself heals all the time. You'll essentially proc the blue screen like I've been doing before, but this time you'll just do it where you are, okay. You'll do it where you are building up stacks for blue screen and then using your Mender Seeker Mine or your drone to proc, oh god, proc the, okay. Well, that's the build. This is what it can do. And if I was a better player, you'd have, you'd be able to see the build in action. So, that's the idea behind the build, and I guess we're just gonna be struggling. Alright. This time we're gonna try and be a little bit more careful. Aim for the targets, take them out, and kind of push up a little bit so my Seeker can go ahead and hit them. So I'm actually going to change the build just a bit. I'm actually going to change the skills that I have, so I can give myself the maximum amount of survivability. So I'm going to do the Fixer Drone. Probably shouldn't do this when things are getting kind of crazy. And then I'm going to use the Mender Seeker Mine. Alright, so now that we've gotten that going on, hopefully I'll get better results. So dodge that, kill him, and we are going to move on. So hopefully with both of these healing skills on, should give me enough survivability to overcome Glass Cannon, and we will see how it goes. Alright. So far, so good.
Hostile drone detected. Rogue striker drone.
And of course, they're drones.
Hostile striker drone detected.
That's alright. We're going to do our best. Make sure that we're getting close to our team. Watching out for them, trying to shoot down. If my aim wasn't so bad, it wouldn't be so terrible. All good though. Just gotta kind of make do. And we're gonna keep on doing what we can do to support our teammates. So I did make the change to give myself more survivability by switching to the 2 drones to heal me. That should provide me with enough survivability using the repair skills to help me win the day. Keep in mind that as you're using this gear set, you're also giving hollow point ammo to your teammates as well, and anytime they shoot using the hollow point bullets, they are getting 20% damage, increased damage to the enemy because of your support. That's one of the biggest reasons why I really enjoy On-going Directive, because you can, you know, sort of do your own thing and then also support your team at the same time. So I'm gonna go ahead and proc it, make sure my healing turrets and things are out, and try and mark as many targets as I can. That's way better. Okay, or maybe not. Yikes. Well, hopefully he reses me. And he does. Oh boy. Oh boy. Clear him. Oh boy. And I am in a bad position. And I get stuck on the wall. Wow. So, today I'm gonna have trouble. Oh boy, today I'm just gonna have trouble. So, I gave him my best. And unfortunately, I am apparently just gonna show you a failure today. So, you know, that's part of the division. That's the unfortunate part of life. You try, you fail, and you maybe try a different approach. And when you try that approach and you still fail, then maybe it's time to go back to the drawing board. This is Ultimate Shield 340. Embarrassed to show you this, but hey, you know, you got to take the W's and the L's. So this is Ultimate Shield 340 signing off, and I'll see you in the Dark Zone. Peace.